I mentioned earlier in the week an insight from Rabbi Sachs into Tefillah about the source of the Tefillos, Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and the different psukim, the different words that mean to daven and what those messages convey. I'd like to offer a different idea from Rabbi Sachs before we daven. Why do we take 3 steps? Everybody does 3 steps before Shemona Esrei to get ready. Why do we take 3 steps? So it could be that it is to get ready. I'm approaching the Shekhinah. I should do it with reverence, with Ema, with Yirash, and just waltz right in. Some suggest it's the 3 levels that Moshe Rabbeinu moves through before he gets to our HaKadosh Baruch Hu on our Sinai. But says the Rokeach. The Rokeach suggests, the Rokeach was one of the early Rishonim, Rabbi Elazar ben Yehuda Kleinimus, in the 12th to 13th centuries in Germany. And he says that 3 times the word Vayigash is used in the Torah or in Tanakh, really. The first is Vayigash Avraham Vayomer Av Tispet Tzadikim Rasha, that Avram approaches Hashem and says, you can't destroy Sodom, you can't wipe out the righteous with the wicked. Then a little bit later in Bereshis, when Yehuda approaches Yosef, who he doesn't know is Yosef yet, to say to him, you can't keep my brother, I'm going to daven for him, I'm going to plead for him. Yehuda gives a powerful speech in Parshas Vayigash. Vayigash, a love Yehuda. That's the second Vayigash. And the third Vayigash is in Sefer Melachim, the story of Eliyahu and Hara Carmel against the Nevi Habal, this massive showdown. They're worshiping Avodah Zarah. Eliyahu is fighting for Hashem. They're going to offer the sacrifice, whichever Hashem sends a fire down to, that's going to be the winner. And Eliyahu gives one of the most passionate, uplifting, motivational speeches in all of Tanakh. Vayigash Eliyahu el kol ha'am. And there is the word again. Vayigash. Says the Rokeach. That's why we have 3 steps. 3 times it says Vayigash, but says Rabbi Sachs. These 3 Vayigash are very different, and it represents a different reason of why we come to daven. Avram is davening for strangers, but for justice. It's the right thing. What Avram says, how can we destroy them? How can you do this? So Avram is concerned with their fate, so he davens. If he doesn't know them, they're wicked. But he felt like that was the right thing. So he davens for them. Yehuda is not worried about strangers. It's family. As Rabbi Sachs writes, he speaks on behalf of the family and its integrity, the bonds of emotion that bind those who share a common ancestry. And Eliyahu is not davening, not for strangers, not for family, but for God. Eliyahu wants them to renounce their Avodah Zarah so that the whole world can return, that the Jews can return to their faith, their emunah for that one true God who took them out of Mitzrayim, who showered them with love. That's Eliyahu's goal. When we come to daven, says Rabbi Sachs, it's with these idea of approaching Hashem. Each of these moments is with the word Vayigash. Each is introduced with Vayigash, approaching, stepping forward. And writes Rabbi Sachs, as we take 3 steps forward at the start of each prayer, we are thereby retracing the footsteps of the 3 giants of the Spirit. Avraham, Yehuda, and Eliyahu, reenacting their great encounters with God. What an amazing, amazing idea. That I should feel every time that I take 3 steps, that I am actually standing and recreating that emotion to stand in front of the Ribono Shel Olam, which is the goal of Tefillah.